Yeah, can put me in the zone. Yeah, give me them highlights. Can put me in the zone. Give me them live feeds I need that. Put me in the zone. Quick access sports and them stats right now. Can put me in the zone. Give me them highlights. Can put me in the zone. Can put me in the zone. Can put me in the zone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Xodus TV, now representing the zone. Thank you for attending. Thank you for being in attendance. We appreciate you being here, and it is time for another great show. So, as always, what we want to do is we want to start off with the word of the day. The word of the day for today is going to be by Abraham Maslow. You will either step forward into growth or you will step back into safety. So just a little bit of expounding on that. We want to step forward into what it is we're trying to do. Okay? We don't want to shelter our goals and our aspirations. We want to step forth into who we are and who we're trying to become once we know who we are and who we're trying to become. And we want to go forth in that. We don't want to slow it down. We don't want to stop it. We want to keep it going. Okay, guys, so just remember to step forward into growth. Don't fall back. Don't fall back. Don't fall back. Don't fall to the wayside. Don't fall to the left, to the right. Stay straight. Stay straight on that straight, narrow path. And go and get it by all means. Now, it is definitely time to get into the show. Once again, thank you guys for attending on this beautiful Monday evening. All right, so our first topic for today is the Phoenix Suns are finalizing a deal to acquire three-time NBA All-Star Bradley Beal. Do you remember the last show that we spoke, shortly on Bradley Beal? And we wanted to know what would be the situation with Bradley Beal, considering that he had a no-trade clause. Well, they are trying to get him now on the Suns, and they are trying to finalize that deal right now. And we are definitely watching out for that to see when it does finalize. That would give them Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Now, these will be their forefront. So Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, and Bradley Beal. Now, we do know that Chris Paul is in that trade, and of course, this trade is with the Washington Wizards. So, I mean, I'm almost positive that Chris Paul is not going to go and play for the Washington Wizards. So there'll be something else inside of there to where he'll go and he'll play elsewhere. Where else would he play? I'm hearing Los Angeles. I'm hearing that the Clippers are not really a great home for him. However, we do know that we expect to see Chris Paul somewhere else this season. And then here's a major thing. DeAndre Ayton. So are they going to keep DeAndre Ayton and have that big four? We're always used to the big three. There's usually three major superstars on the team, and then the team's kind of built around it. That's kind of like, the way it is. That's pretty much the way it goes. Is it DeAndre Ayton that's going to stay, or is it that DeAndre Ayton is going to have to go? Are they going to work another deal to get some more supporting cast to add on to bench players and definitely need a point guard at this point to be real contenders for the NBA Finals next year? My thoughts on it are, of course, mixed, because for me, I would probably keep DeAndre Ayton, and I would do some rotation things that they've never seen before, is what I would personally do. But I think they need to free up some cap space and get rid of DeAndre Ayton in order to get some more role players and some more supporting cast so that, they're not just front-ended. You have this starting four that's amazing. And then once they come out, you have nothing else. Well, we definitely know that your bench is very important in everything that you do. Your bench is very important. So we want to make sure that we watch that story pretty closely. I'm expecting DeAndre Ayton to, the Phoenix Suns to trade for him. However, my personal opinion, I try to keep him and see who else I can get to come there for a little less money with championship on mine. You know, that's just the way I would do. Okay, on to the next story. Stephon Diggs, he's frustrated after a restructured deal that failed to land DeAndre Hopkins. So what we're being told is that Stephon Diggs restructured his contract in March, clearing up $5.4 million in cap space. So, here's the thing. I think that I know he's definitely frustrated because he did free that cap space because he restructured the deal. Of course, DeAndre Hopkins did not. DeAndre Hopkins did not meet with the Buffalo Bills, so obviously that's not a team of interest for him. So now it's like $5.4 million that he could have had in his pocket. Does it matter? I think it does matter as far as he's concerned. As far as the Buffalo Bills are concerned, I'm personally just thinking that, either way, they need to restructure that deal. And there still is time to get another, player in cast that can, cover his side of the field, opening it up more for Stephon Diggs on his side of the field. So at this point, he's kind of angry from what we understand, a little bit frustrated. I think they're going to try to work with that and try to figure that out. But I think in the end, if we have players that are just, dissatisfied, at some point in time we want to think about or try to figure out how we can get them pleased, or maybe just try to get them moved to a better situation for them without, a lot of different things going on. So I'm not really sure how that story is going to end, but I do know that we have a frustrated player. And if we're trying to go into the next season, we really want to go into the next season without any conflict, because we want to focus on the game. We want to focus on getting better. We want to focus on making it to the Super Bowl. So in order to do that, I think all minds need to be clear, and everybody has to have that same goal at mind. So we definitely don't want any player in the background mad about something, kind of makes it hard to move forward. It's very hard to move forward with that. All right, we're going to move over to baseball. Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs over the weekend. Ohtani now has 24 home runs, who now leads the Major League Baseball. He now leads Major League Baseball. And on his team, he leads all stats on his team. And I think they're calling him to be one of the best players in all sports. I don't want to take it that far now. I don't want to take it that far. However, starting off the season, he's doing a great job. And we want to continue to see him do a great job, see how consistent that, can be, because they play a lot of games in Major League Baseball. There's a lot of games being played. So we still have a whole season that we have to pretty much monitor and watch how he does. However, he is definitely leading Major League Baseball right now with 24 home runs. They did defeat the Angels did defeat the Royals 5-2. So they're winning too. But in order to call him a great, in all sports, we have to. You got to make the playoffs, man, and you got to win a series, and you got to win some games in the playoffs. So we're watching that story closely. We're gonna move back to basketball. Excuse me. Is Damian Lillard on the move? Is Damian Lillard on the move? According to him, he's not gonna ever be on the move. He has no intention. He has no will to be on the move. But is he on the move? In my standpoint, where I'm standing at with this is, He's been in the NBA for a little bit. He's getting on up there in age. If I were him, I would probably be looking to win a championship. He's not hurting for money. He's not hurting for sponsorships. At this point in my career, I probably would be looking to, lock that championship in. I don't know if he's on the move. He hasn't said he's on the move, and there's no inclination of him being on the move. However, if I was him, I would be on the move. I would try to see where else I could go. I mean, you've done everything that you could have done for Portland, and you've been there with Portland through ups and downs. And, I mean, if you really want that ship, you may have to move around, because I don't really see them putting a supporting cast around him to where they would be contenders right now. I just don't see it. And why that is, I'm not sure. Everybody runs their teams differently. So I'm not really sure as to why they really can't get supporting cast around him to play with him. I know people would love to play with him, but it's all about the franchise and how the franchise feels about bringing in other players for whatever amount that they're asking for. That's a little different. I do know that he would be a great fit for the NBA Finals, getting a deep run into the playoffs. Just imagine Dame time in the NBA Finals. Watching this amazing player do something amazing in the finals, changing the whole game. One person changing the whole game in the finals, and giving us a very exciting finals, giving us more than what we asked for. And that's what he's capable of, and that's what he's all about. And so we want to see if possibly he may make a move into that realm of trying to win a championship. And if he still believes that Portland is the place to where he can win the ship, he stays there long enough, he might be right. He might be right with all these changes that happen in the NBA, on a yearly basis. There's no 100% guarantee that every team is going to be the same next year. The NBA changes drastically on a drop of a dime. So many changes. And you have to get used to it, because that's a part of the game. All right, let's move on to football. Tua Tagovailoa is fully cleared during minicamp. He is healthy, guys. He is ready to rock and roll. He's cleared, and he's ready to rock and roll. What does that mean for the Miami Dolphins? Well, that definitely means the Miami Dolphins have a general on the floor. That definitely means that Miami Dolphins are contending. That definitely means that they're going to be ready when it comes time. When their numbers are called, they'll be ready. So for next season, I'm very excited to hear that, because he's a very exciting player. They have a very good team, a very powerful offense, and the defense is very good as well. We wish all health on Tua Tagovailoa to continue doing what he's doing, and we are definitely looking forward to the Miami Dolphins possibly making a deep run this year. We definitely want to see that. I'd love to see him in the playoffs, to be honest. I'd love to see him in the playoffs. I'd love to see them go deep in the playoffs, because right now, with most sports, a lot of sports, we always have these same repetitive teams that are making it, these same repetitive teams that are in the playoffs. Some of these other teams that haven't been in a while, it would be nice to see them. Ratings on those things are a little different, but let's get the tendencies up to where, it's something that we see more often, just creating a stronger franchise with stronger players and be built for the postseason, not just the preseason and the season. Get built for the long haul. That's what we want to do. Just a reminder, going back to basketball real quick, the NBA Draft 2023 is this Thursday at 8 Eastern Time, on ESPN and ABC. Your top 3 picks go to San Antonio Spurs at number 1, number 2, the Charlotte Hornets, and number 3, the Portland Trailblazers, which is another way where we may be looking for Damian Lillard to see what they're going to pick up and see how the offseason goes, to maybe see if he even needs to make that move or not. Because I know they're going to try to build around him. They're going to try to do something, I would hope. And, of course, number 1 projected is Victor Wembanyama. Still a lot of talks on him. The man from France, 7'5" center, who has the skills of a guard, can shoot, can dribble, can penetrate. He's got the moves, he's got the skills. So we are looking for him to go to San Antonio. I don't see anything showing me otherwise. And guess what? If they decide they're not going to get him, somebody else will. So they got to think about that. But I'm pretty sure they're going to take him. We all are pretty sure that they're going to take him. Let's move on to football real quick. We have Chris Jones, who did not attend Chiefs minicamp because of contract talks. He hasn't gotten his new contract. He is a 4-time Pro Bowl selection. And he doesn't have a contract yet, so he hasn't showed up. Which is understandable because, you know, when you're a great player, you want to be just like a great player, a great worker. These are these guys' jobs when you're a great worker, and it's time you want to be compensated for your contributions. And if your contributions are great, you guys just won the Super Bowl last year, I think he's expecting a contract. And I don't see any reason why the Chiefs wouldn't give him something, considering their winning capabilities and what they're trying to do. We know that they're going for the Super Bowl, and we know that they're trying to make their team the best that they can be. So we're watching that closely. I expect a deal to be done at some point in time. Hasn't been done yet, but I do expect a deal to be done. All right, something new for the show. We're gonna go to WNBA scores yesterday. The WNBA, we're gonna give a little light, shed a little light. We're trying to get into that too. We don't want to be one-sided. We want to give everybody the shine. We want to give everybody the gist of what's going on here, and we want them to be heard as well. The WNBA, Phoenix Mercury defeated by New York Liberty, 89-71. New York Liberty 89, Phoenix Mercury 71. Atlanta Dream conquers Indiana Fever 100-94. Minnesota Lynx do fall to the Las Vegas Aces 9-3. I think the Las Vegas Aces are one of the best teams in the WNBA, probably the best team in the WNBA with just one loss. They're a team to watch for, a very good team, well put together, have a lot of strong players, and they come to play, guys. They're not playing around. Let's go to Connecticut Sun versus the Los Angeles Sparks. They did defeat the Los Angeles Sparks 83-74. Chicago Sky fall to the Washington Mystics 69-77. And Seattle Storm take the Dallas Wings for their money, 109-103. Let's move back to football. Got something I want to talk about. Joe Burrow. All right, so Joe Burrow has begun contract talks with the Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, he is still under his rookie contract, and there is no contract right now. It hasn't stopped him from doing anything that he's been doing with the team. However, we are looking for a contract for Joe Burrow, who is an amazing player, Hall of Fame player, as it stands right now, going forth to the future. We're expecting a deal sometime after July 4th. Deals have to get done. They got to get done, I believe, by July 17th, the major contracts. So we're looking to see exactly what he does. Guys, how do we feel about Derek Carr in New Orleans? Do we have any... How do we feel about that? I mean, I think that Derek Carr is a great player. A really good friend of mine pointed Derek Carr out to me and is like, hey, man, this guy's like a really good player. And according to his teammates and everything like that, he's steady getting better. He's accurate. He's on time. He's doing what he needs to do. Will he make the Saints better? Are the Saints going to win their conference or their division, excuse me? They possibly can. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. They definitely have some pieces that they were missing last year. This year, I'm really interested to see what Derek Carr does in New Orleans. I think he'll do very well. It's a change of scenery for him, and I think that may be good. Just like we all know, a change of scenery is really good for players sometimes. When you've played for a certain team for so long, you just need to be around something different and work towards something different and see how that goes. A lot of times it does work out, and sometimes it doesn't work out. So, I mean, I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. I can't really speak on their season. I can't really tell you what I feel like they're going to do because they haven't really done too much the last couple of seasons. But I do think that they possibly can be a division winner, and they should be a playoff team this year. We're watching that closely to see if that happens. Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, New York Giants. major piece to the New York Giants. A major piece. He doesn't have a contract yet, guys. Why does he not have a contract yet? Not really sure about that. We do know he's not playing. He's not doing anything until the contract is settled. If he does take the franchise tag, as they call it, he'd be making less than, a quarter of these guys that are still free agents right now. You got Ezekiel Elliott out there. You have, who else do you got out there? You got Ezekiel Elliott. You got Saquon Barkley. You've got Dalvin Cook. You've got some other players. Just off the top of my head, I can't, specifically remember. But you have quite a few players right now that are looking like the running back thing for right now in the NFL is there's a lot of great running backs right now that don't have contracts, that are free agents. And we definitely need to take a closer look at what's going to happen with some of these players, specifically Saquon Barkley. He ain't playing. And he's willing to sit out the whole season until he gets a contract. I mean, I probably would do the same considering how much he means to that team and considering how hard he's worked to come back from injury and the player that he is. I mean, he changes the dynamics of the game when given the ball. So we're watching that story very closely. Guys, today is a federal holiday now, Juneteenth. For those who lost their lives to slavery and inequality, today is the day, Juneteenth. So I want that, to be the end point of the show today because it's very important for a lot of us to understand where we came from and where we're going. And we're headed in a lot of different places. And there's no limit to what you can do. And keep pushing. Until the next time, guys, this is definitely Xodus TV, The Zone. We'll see you on the next one. Yeah. Come put me in the zone. Yeah. Give me them highlights. Come put me in the zone. Give me them live feeds. I need that. Sports and upstairs right now. Come put me in the zone. Yeah. Give me them highlights. Come put me in the zone. Come put me in the zone. Come put me in the zone.